everyone, it's me, Krista. Welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. If not, welcome for the very first time to my little art corner here on YouTube. Today I'm going to be finishing up this colored pencil drawing of a flower, and I will be leaving the link to the first part down below in that description box. This is based off of a reference photo by Bridget at pmparts.com. And as I said, we are just picking up where we left off, and I am just going to be layering a bunch of different kinds of colored pencils in a bunch of different colors. It is a variety of brands of pencils, and all of that information, brands and colors, are going to be also included in that description box down below. Also, this project is being done on some Strathmore artist tiles in some Bristol vellum. It is a nice smooth paper, and I really enjoy it for ink work and colored pencil work. The first part of this drawing took me quite a while, and it always seems like, especially with colored pencils, there's a build-up that it takes me a while, and it feels like it's going to take forever to get done. And then once I get past a certain point, it goes by super quickly. Every single colored pencil drawing I've ever done has been like this. I'm not sure why. It's almost like I fall into a groove of the multiple layers going on. At this point in the drawing, I am literally just going in with some yellows, some oranges, some reds, and for the shadows, I am using a almost olive green color. I believe it's called Kelp green by Prismacolor, pulling in some dark green, and also a navy blue color. So you can tell, lots of different kinds of colors pulled in. Don't be afraid of playing around with them. You can always practice on a piece of scrap paper and see how they layer and what it looks like. A lot of this is just trial and error and many, many years of playing around with different colored pencils and seeing what works together and how I would like it to work together. For the background, I'm making it pretty dark just to help the rest of the flower stand out a little bit more. And the first layer, I'm just doing that mid-toned kelp green color. And I will end up going over it with the dark indigo, which is the navy color I said earlier. It's actually dark indigo, and that is a Faber-Castell Polychromos. Dark blue from Prismacolor would work as well. I actually bought this to try out a Faber-Castell colored pencil, but to also replace a color that I ran out of in my Prismacolor set. I use this in dark green a lot for shadows. And also to neutralize the green that I have laid down, I'm going over with a darker red or a magenta color. That one is specifically magenta. And then I pull in a little bit of Schwarz black by Faber-Castell Polychromos. And I wanted to talk specifically about the colors there because I think it shows an accurate representation of how many different kinds of colors you can pull in to make a deep, dark color that is very close to a black without it necessarily just being a flat black. And because of the colors I used, it pulls it into an almost greenish purpley color going on, which helps bring out the yellow in the flower even more. And for the oranges, yellows, and reds, using them on top of each other helps brighten up the colors a lot, and it makes it way more intense. When you use colors that are near each other on the color wheel, it will intensify the look that you have going on. And by near each other, I mean next to. And for some of the lighter shadows on the petal, I use Jade green. For the midtones, it is Kelp green. And then I start pulling in the indigo blue and a tiny baby touch of black. I also will go over the greens with a little bit of orange to help neutralize them slightly. I'm not gonna lie, the bright, vibrant colors in this flower make me super happy inside. When I feel sad, I always have a tendency to draw flowers or paint them. Typically, it's during winter time when there's not a lot of sunlight, and I naturally become a little bit more depressed. It happens. But drawing flowers helps pull me out of it because they're just so bright and colorful and beautiful, and it reminds you of being able to go outside and be one with nature, with some warm sunshine going on. It's just a nice, happy little distraction. I'm also making sure when I'm doing this drawing that I'm keeping the pencils as sharp as possible. I usually use an electric pencil sharpener, but any sharpener that can get them to a nice, really fine point, a sharp pointy tip, best way to go. And for all the initial layers, I go in very gently with a soft hand, and then I progressively add more pressure the more layers I add. The hardest I will press is in the final layers when I'm trying to smooth out the colored pencil a little bit more, get it burnished. You don't want to do that too soon though. because it'll make it difficult for more color to be applied to the paper. You can rip through the paper if you apply too much pressure, and or you can accidentally peel up some of the previous layers. For the whitest parts of this drawing, I am pulling in a Caran Luminance pencil in white. It's one of the most opaque ones I've found. There are plenty of other ways to do this. You can leave the paper itself white and kind of draw around it. You can use certain kinds of erasers to pull it back a little bit more. Some people use white gel pens. I've also seen people use white acrylic markers and occasionally oil markers in white, oil paint markers. That works best if it's an oil-based pencil for sure. If you're really careful, you could also use an X-Acto knife to peel back some layers of colored pencils to pull it back to that white paper. And some colored pencil companies do make some kind of white products that aren't pencils you can use as well. There's plenty of options. Just play around with it and figure out what works best for you. And in some areas, I'm also going in with a little bit of a neon-ish yellow. And that is Lemon Yellow by Caran, and it's one of the Supracolor 2 colored pencils. I occasionally like pulling in neon colors like this on flower drawings, and occasionally in skin tones. I like pulling in a little bit of neon pink in skin tones for colored pencil drawings as well. I feel it adds just an extra brightness and a little bit of an extra life. I always try to do it sparingly though. At least for the effect I'm going for here, there's very little of that color. At this point in the drawing, I'm assessing the different tones I have going in. I'm pulling in some bright white highlights using that white pencil, the Caran Luminance one. I'm doing a lot of final blends using the yellows and whites as well. And to further define some of the petals and create some sharper lines and shadows, I do end up pulling in a tiny bit of black. This helps further define the shapes and gives quite a bit more contrast, especially because I have that deeper background. Having some deeper shadows and the flower itself helps pull it all together. At this point, I'm just adding in final touches, doing certain colors to help add insinuations of folds in the petals by doing little bits of lines, pulling back certain colors, deepening up certain areas, just figuring it all out. I'm also trying to double check my edges of the paper and make sure that they are covered with color, because I do have a tendency to miss some of the edges as I'm going. And because I am drawing flat on a desktop, I do pick up the drawing every once in a while to hold it up and look at it in a slightly different perspective, because bending over it with the light shining on it, it looks very different than if you pull it away from the light a little bit. And sometimes it's good just to walk away and step away, because it's easy to get too caught up in the details. Sometimes you gotta step back and look at it and figure out what else it needs. Sometimes if you've been working on something for a while, it's a good idea to just walk away for a little bit. Go for a walk, grab a snack. If frustration starts setting in, just walk away. I've ruined way too many pieces trying to keep working on it when I was frustrated. Doing this project was nice. I like drawing flowers, especially in colored pencils. They always take me a lot longer using them because of all the layering I do. But there's something very cathartic about the whole process. It just makes me happy. It's nice to just sit down and realize it's going to take you a while to do something, and just let it take however long you need to do it. I don't have any deadlines, except for self-imposed ones right now, so I was able to just breathe, relax, and take my time finishing up this little flower drawing. And with that, this drawing is pretty much done, and therefore this video is almost done. If you liked this video, please hit that like button. If you have any comments, questions, feelings, or concerns, please let me know in that comment section down below. I look forward to hearing from ya. If you want to see more videos like this, please feel free to subscribe. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day or night to watch this video. I greatly appreciate it. I look forward to hearing from you guys soon, and you'll definitely be hearing from me soon. Bye, everybody!